All right, everybody, welcome back. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart, both published by Simon & Schuster Saga Press. And I got to tell you something. This right here is the face of an angry man. This is the face I make when I'm getting ready to hunt down some mother and kick his ass because I am pissed. Pissed off, I tell you. For my whole life, I've been buying Dean Koontz. I had been buying Dean Koontz books in these mass market paperback sizes. I mean, mass market. Everybody loves mass markets. Everybody loved these mass markets because, they fit perfect in your hand. They were the right size for reading. They all looked good on the shelf. They were cheap. They were like between $6.99 and $8.99 forever, And, about 15 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, I was like, I've been collecting these Dean Koontz books. Every time a new one comes out, mass market, I go get it. And then I knew a new one was coming out, and so I went and got it. I mean, seriously, what the... Look at that! Look at that! Why and when did mass markets suddenly become a shit mix of mutated dog vomit? I mean, look at that. It doesn't fit with the rest of them. It looks ridiculous. I was like, what in the hell's going on? The mass market, it's not just the Dean Koontz books. I was collecting these great Tony Hillerman mystery series, and once again, mass market paperback, mass market that's been around forever. And then I go to get the new one 12, 13 years ago. I get it home and I'm like, again, and it wasn't just Dean Koontz and Tony Hillerman. It was my Dresden Files Jim Butcher collection. It was my Michael Connelly Harry Bosch collection. It was my Robert B. Parker Spencer collection. It was my Elizabeth George Inspector Lindley and my Ian Rankin Inspector Rebus, and it was my Star Wars Legends novels. All of those mass market paperbacks, all the same size. They started printing them in this oblong, ridiculous, mutated size, and I stopped. I was done. I'm done. I was like, I'm not buying books no more. They've killed the joy of book collecting with their stupid decision. And when I say this is the face of a man who wants to hunt a motherfucker down and kick his ass, I want to know who was the guy or girl or person that came up with this idea in some publishing committee meeting, and how did it pass through the committee meeting? This is ridiculous. I can only see. Hey, those mass market paperbacks we've been putting out? People gobble them up. People are just buying billions of them. Those mass market paperbacks that have been out forever, since the dawn of time, since the time of Christ. People have loved these mass market paperbacks. Well, how about we do something a little different, you see? How about what we do is we make them like, 6 inches, maybe, they're about 5.5 inches. Why don't we make them 6 inches tall, you see? And then instead of $6.99 or $8.99, we can charge $9.99, you see? And people will be like, oh, well, that makes sense because they're slightly bigger, you see? And then we can make more money, you see? And then the book collectors are like, no, we don't want them a half an inch taller because it's with our entire book collection. No, we would rather, if you want to charge us $9.99 for a mass market paperback, just bump up your price on the regular size mass market paperback and we'll understand inflation. We're not idiots. You don't have to try to fool us with a bunch of fucking illusion and bullshit. It's like 5.5 inches for every man and woman. 5.5 inches is the perfect size. The perfect size. You increase it to 6 inches, and it's like you're trying to. It does not. 5.5 inches, perfect. 6 inches. 6 inches is just ridiculous. It does. 6 inches just doesn't fit in that hole on your shelf. Like the 5, you get what I'm saying, folks, and now I'm starting to get myself spun up, and now I'm just like, I would rather just pay the extra money and get a book that fits with my rest of my books rather than, you see what I'm saying, folks. So I'm coming unglued. Here's the thing, folks. My life is 99.9%, not even that, 99.9999% perfect. My life is 99.999% perfect, except for this bullshit over here. This is this is ruining everything. The world was perfect until this idea. Oh my gosh. And then, here's the thing is I got to thinking about this today and I'm like, gosh, I'm coming unglued. I'm coming unglued because I knew I was going to make this video. And I was just starting to I was spinning myself out of control with the anger. And then I'm like, I gotta unwind. I gotta unwind because, I teach. If you followed my channel, for my day job, I teach at the Utah State Prison. I teach creative writing, book clubs, thinking for a change, domestic violence. And one of the classes I teach is anger management. And I'm like, I gotta take some of the lessons from my anger management class. And because I wanna find the motherfucker that came up with this idea and kick his ass. And this is the exact opposite of what I teach at the prison. I teach at the prison that if somebody pisses you off, you don't go find that motherfucker and you don't kick his ass. That's the opposite of anger management. And so now I'm like, I've got to live what I preach. I gotta let the anger go. I've got to let the anger go. And as you see, just speaking of it, and one of the things that I talk about is, you can, in my anger management class, if you keep a journal and write your anger down in the journal, or maybe the person that made you mad, maybe you write them a letter explaining how it made you mad and how it made you feel, but you just don't send it. You get that out. And so as you can see, you can see that just me doing this video is getting rid of a lot of the anger because this stuff doesn't piss me off. Not anymore at all. The anger and so this video, this rant is my version of writing that angry letter to vent your anger, but you just don't send it. So I have done the video. The anger is purged from my soul. And now what I'm going to do now is share it with the internet.